Salle. I'm the CEO and founder of ICA Consultancy. We provide capability as a service offerings, including CISO as a service, DPO as a service, and some discrete managed services that help our customers manage cyber and privacy risk.
Brilliant, thank you. So here we are at UK Cyber Week. One of the big topics has been around cybersecurity culture. And given your position, I was just wondering if you could maybe expand on what do we mean by fostering a culture around cybersecurity, and how does that link to human risk management?
So human risk management is the growing topic and trend that we have at the moment around awareness and education. So you could look at the likes of CyberSafe, Outthing, KnowBe4, they're all looking at human risk management. So this is going beyond training, traditional training and awareness, beyond traditional phishing simulation, and actually looking at human behaviour as it relates to security, and looking at how we can influence that. And it's influencing that behaviour that helps build out that security culture. So culture is often described in an organisation as what happens when the CEO isn't around.
Yes.
So everyone can always set a tone, but actually what happens when that management layer isn't there. The same can be true of security, and it's actually about embedding positive security behaviours in your staff, such that they actually just naturally present those behaviours during their work.
So let's assume I'm a business leader within an organisation. What would be your advice on getting started with fostering a positive cybersecurity culture and managing those human risk elements?
So I think the first thing is to remember that this goes beyond traditional training. Rinse and repeat, 30-minute death by slides training once a year doesn't work. All that does is train people to pass a test, get 8 out of 10 questions right, and then they go on with their life. Phishing simulations, again, very important part of helping people understand the threats they face, but on their own, practically useless. It's got to be part of an ongoing campaign of awareness activities, both using traditional computer-based training, video, stories online, but also offline activities. So perhaps running drop-ins, getting speakers to come in, not just security professionals, but something we've seen work really well is getting black hats who have turned into white hats, so identity thieves who are now helping organisations identify fraud, and getting them in to talk, because they're engaging, they're exciting, they're authentic, and actually they can tell people very easily how they can steal their identity and even remortgage their home. So people tend to start to listen to them. There is always an element of time from the top, so management need to be demonstrating those behaviours as well and taking security seriously. And you need to remind people that it isn't just the security team's responsibility. Now in the industry there's a big conversation that goes on between should security be everybody's responsibility and should actually tooling be better. Actually when you look at the recent Verizon data breach incident report, well actually not the recent one that came out in the last couple of days, but the previous last year's 24s, 68% of all breaches had some human element to it. So it's important that we make sure people understand their role in protecting the company. Make it engaging, make it fun. You know, it can be a very dry topic, but actually there are organisations out there that will run workshops, even escape rooms for you, and run those on site with your staff. And that's people are engaging with that. You want to measure that engagement, because that's how you work out how your culture's moving and then it's improving.
So it sounds like a lot of the right strategies and tools are out there. If people want to take advantage of them. What are some of the most, I guess, common mistakes or missteps that you see people make around fostering a positive culture like that?
Well, I think the key mistake people make is thinking that training and awareness is going to do that. So while I've given them their security training, surely we should have a security culture. We're delivering phishing simulations and 20% of people are reporting it. Surely that demonstrates a good culture. Actually that doesn't. What it's training people to do is to spot those simulations. Often those simulations are very common in their approaches and actually become very easy to spot them. And actually they're not doing anything outside of that. I think one of the most effective things I've seen work when I was in industry was creating a mailbox that people could just send questions to about security. So any question they wanted. It was a bit difficult to manage it at times because it's a side of the desk activity, but it gave them a safe place to ask questions. And it started off asking questions around what they could do at home around securing certain things. But then it quickly became one of our viewpoints into the organisation for all security behaviours. And actually, when we ran a large external simulated attack against the business, it was that email address that lit up like a Christmas tree when the attack started, because people saw some suspicious behaviour. They weren't sure whether it was quite an incident. It was a safe place for them to ask the question. We immediately picked up on the simulation we were running. But giving that open door policy, making people feel safe, is very important, and not a lot of organisations do that.
So simple steps, but they can be very effective. Thanks very much, Ben.